Viewers, this is a special broadcast on Times Now, and let me begin by reading out to you what the Pakistan High Commission in London had said. I quote, Indian delegation backs out of Oxford Union debate at last minute, hands walkover to the Pakistani side, unquote. Now, all of us know that Pakistan and the Pakistani deep state, they have a proclivity of, misleading, propaganda, etc., etc. But what is the depths to which Pakistani establishment can fall? This case is an example of that. Two people of the three who were supposed to take on the Pakistani delegation at the Oxford Union debate are here with me. Manu Khajuria, Pandit Satish Sharma ji. They need no introduction. I welcome both of you. Pandit ji, let me begin by asking you, when you came to know about the Pakistani propaganda, that, all of you have chickened out and the Pakistanis were able to, defeat you even without the debate. What did you make of it? Were you amused, angry, upset?
Amused, also a little bit surprised. It reeks of desperation, doesn't it? There is an air that we are so desperate to have some sort of a victory that even this platform, which is by and large a group of children, they are students. And, the very nature of the fact that they are students mean that they know not too much. They're there at the university to learn and to become capable of discerning the truth. So that the fact that the Pakistani government's representatives would want to infiltrate a student body which is known for having all sorts of strange debates, and then to be able to claim a Pyrrhic victory that, Pakistan defeated India, it's just farcical, isn't it? So yes, we were a little bit surprised, but definitely amused.
Manu Khajuria, what was your first reaction?
And actually, I echo Satish's sentiments because I was surprised at the state of what Pakistan has become. I was like, you need to piggyback ride on a student debating society to score a point with India on a motion which they were set to lose anyways. It was a ridiculous motion. It was easy for us to have won that if there was an honest and fair debate, of course. So I couldn't believe it. I mean, I thought Pakistan ke bahut hi bure haal hain if they have to rely on a student debating society to claim victory and really jump and hop about it.
Pakistan can resort to anything. I mean, they have a habit of surprising us. And the topic of the motion was this House believes that India's policy towards Pakistan is a populist strategy sold as security policy. Now imagine something as plain and simple as this. The Pakistanis could not prepare 4 lines because, when you're in a debate with the two of you and Jesai Deepak, you will obviously have to come prepared. Now, I don't understand. Why did they agree in the first place if they had to do this? They could have, even without initiating an invite or anything, they could have just put out this press release, the one that I have in my hand. Panditji?
You're absolutely right. It's very strange indeed. And I was reminded of a lesson that I was taught when I was a child. Better never tell a lie. Because if you tell one lie, then you will have to tell another lie, and it will grow to become an enormous lie, and one day it will come crashing down upon you. And so this debating motion was an excellent opportunity for us to demonstrate and really put forward evidence that the claim of equality and equivalence, that Pakistan is a nation state and Bharat is a nation state, there's no equivalence. So we were quite prepared to pull the whole lie down on their heads. We were actually very pleased with the motion. One, it gave us an opportunity to share historical facts, but secondly, it really highlighted the fall in the quality of what the debating society had also experienced. We have a saying that in Punjab, we have a saying that if there are some people who, when they walk in front of a mango tree, 5 saal na wo phal nahi degi ped. And I think the Pakistani debating team have demonstrated the same principle on Oxford Union's debating society. It'll be many years before we get some decent fruit from that platform now.
Now, Manuji, this statement by the Pakistani High Commission in London also says that the speakers had already arrived in London and were scheduled to proceed to Oxford today. However, the Oxford Union informed the organisers that all 3 Indian speakers had decided to pull out, offering no substantive explanation for their inability to attend a debate they had previously confirmed. Now, let's bust this propaganda in the manner it deserves to be. What happened? Tell us the backstory.
Pranesh, it's quite ridiculous because Sai Deepak ji and myself were traveling together, and it was around 3:13 when he gets a call from a union member, union officer rather, saying that, the Pakistani contingent has backed out. They will not be debating. So obviously, Sai Deepak ji said, then what's the point? I mean, he had flown all the way from Delhi to participate in this debate. And I, in fact, was the last minute entry. I was told just the night before, and in fact, at around 11 p.m. of 26th, and the debate was to take place on the 27th of November, that you have to speak in. I just decided to be a trooper, and I'm from Jammu and Kashmir. And I thought, I looked at the motion and I said, I come from a border village which has seen ceasefire violations. I come from a region which has seen massacres of Hindus. I come from a region which has seen the exodus of Kashmiri Hindus. And this is a motion very easy to oppose. And I was like, yes, I will go ahead. Whereas all these Pakistani speakers had been confirmed sometime around in July. So I had a few hours, and I believe Satish ji also had some hours. He had been informed just a few hours before me. And we were all ready. And when the union officer calls us and says they are not coming, it was after an hour or so I saw the Pakistani High Commission, they had tweeted. And of course, they were asking or questioning the courage of the Indians while having shut off the comments to their own tweet. And again, after some hours, because you never can prepare for the duplicity of the Pakistanis, and also ki nakal ke liye bhi akal chahiye, that the timestamp showed that they had tweeted about us not arriving even before we had told them we are not arriving. So the trap or the setup, and in fact, Wajahat Kazmi, one of the Pakistani journalists, had tweeted at around 1:40, 1:33, I believe, and the Pakistani High Commission had tweeted at about 2:44. And we had been informed at 3:13 that the Pakistanis are not coming or have not arrived, and hence the debate cannot go forward as planned. And that's when we said that we are going to stay back, because obviously it's all gone bust. So this is how they lied and cheated. And then there was everybody in the Pakistani media was covering Indians nahi aaye, hum jeet gaye. This was a
this press
blah,
release.
blah, blah.
Actually, you're right. This is a master class in creative writing. The imagination is running wild here. Such vivid metaphors. It says, the Pakistan High Commission believes that this last-minute decision reflects a lack of confidence on part of the Indian delegation in defending India's Pakistan policy in an open, rules-based forum. How can someone who's of, Pakistani descent can even utter the word rules, R-U-L-E-S? Panditji?
It is extraordinary. If you just consider that this is a humble student debate. Pakistan or Bharat mein yudh ki baat kahan se aayi? This is like two people arguing over lunch at a restaurant, and suddenly the Pakistanis decide to say this is a national issue and this is an opportunity for us to display defeat. I would concur with what Manuji has said. It's very straightforward. We were informed at a particular time that the Pakistani delegation were not present as advertised, and we were invited to engage, and I use the words literally, in discussions with the student body if we so wished. And really, that's not what we were going there for. We could have discussions with the student body at any time. And so the scenario that was presented to us, it really was unworthy of really going along with it.
To be honest, actually, I was disappointed when I came to know of this, when I saw the thread by Sai Deepak. The very fact that all of you, such stalwarts agreed to dignify a request like this to debate with losers, like Zubair Mahmood Hayat, Hina Rabbani Thar, who knows more about fashion than she knows about policy. And the others, Dr. Muhammad Faisal, whoever he is, an agent or whatever he is. You shouldn't have said yes, but, that's something that is a lesson for other people who might get an invite, maybe in the next few months, unsuspecting people who will get a mail from Oxford that, look, the fresh Pakistani delegation is now ready. They have got their trainings by the Mujahideen at the GHQ, and they will come to the Oxford Union debate. So it's a lesson for all of them. But in general, this is what Pakistan resorts to in all forms of life, in all walks of life. Look at their domestic policy. it misleads his own people on a daily basis, Panditji.
It is a tragedy. They do not clothe themselves with glory and with dignity pretty much on a consistent basis. You know, in Punjabi, we have a kahavat, and I think it applies to them that apne sar swap oniyata inade kolon sikho. This is literally every opportunity they take to actually establish the lack of credibility, the lack of good faith, the lack of dignity, and it's actually quite tragic. The only reason I think we were all keen to get involved on this platform is that there are children there. And in the audience, there are children who would have been there in good faith from the Pakistani side and the Hindu side, the Indian side, the Muslim side, and also people who are part of the general Oxford University body. And so it would be a great opportunity to highlight some facts which are actually quite conveniently ignored by the Pakistani team. And so I think even if we were invited again, in good faith, we would respond in good faith in the hope that we would teach these children something.
You know, that is India's culture. You know, what you said reflects our culture, our civilizational values. Manuji, what happened? I mean, I'm sure all of you must have, tried to find out where is the Pakistani delegation. Did they come to London or what happened?
Yes, Pranesh, I'd quickly like to say that the two elements or two bodies that I feel really sorry for are the Pakistani citizens who are always misled by their government. I, in fact, started thinking, why did they need these diversionary tactics? And had to, as I said, had to piggyback on a student debating society. And the second body that I feel really sorry for here is the Oxford Union itself, which was once upon a time a very respectable, prestigious debating society, in fact, historical. And the values that you spoke of are exactly what I wanted to highlight, because under its Pakistani president, Musa Haraj, he has brought in the Pakistani values. We have had reports of committee members, former committee members, present committee members, and a lot of union members who have, highlighted his lack of democratic nature, his using corrupt practices. All this has been highlighted, and I feel sorry for the Oxford Union about it. And in fact, when we heard that the Pakistani contingent hasn't flown, we tried to find out from people living in the Oxford, certain former union members, as to where this contingent was. And we heard, at least J-Side Deepak's sources heard, they were stationed in the same hotel where Panditji and J-Side Deepak were meant to stay that night. So they did not leave the hotel. So this is the state of things. And sorry to say that they have hijacked and made a union debating, the Oxford Union, a debating society, into their proxy. It's become the proxy of Pakistani High Commission under its Pakistani president.
Maybe staying at the same hotel, they must have been aware of the kind of preparation which was going on. Panditji and J. Sai Deepak, that they backed out. But Panditji, if you found out that they were there, you should have just, barged into their room and said, come on guys, what's up?
Gee, barging into rooms is not really our style. We would have very courteously invited us to join us for a dinner and exchanged very pleasant views. But what Manuji has said is absolutely right. This president has not covered himself in glory. There's a saying that if you put a clown into a throne, the clown doesn't become a king, the palace becomes a circus. And I think we have seen exactly the same phenomenon. The proof is there in front of us. The person who has been leading the union this current term has really brought the union down into the dirt and dragged their reputation through the mud. And this is... there seems to be a problem with the Pakistanization at the moment.
Yeah, this is precisely what I wanted to ask. Now that you've, uttered those words, do you suspect a larger conspiracy here? Conspiracy may not be the right word. A deep-seated influence by the Islamists who've, perhaps now gained control of people who are at the helm of affairs in the Oxford Union? Do you suspect that, Panditji?
Gee, I exist in the domain of facts and evidence, and probability does seem to support the proposition that you have put forward. As I said, this is a student body with relatively junior people in the grand scheme of things, and for the Pakistan High Commission to intervene and to fabricate and create a completely false story, a narrative which had no resemblance with the truth, it does seem to indicate that there is a political motivation behind this. And I can't imagine a situation where the High Commission or the embassy of any country would want to intervene and to create such a nonsensical story around this. Can you imagine the United States, Russia, China, or even Bharat, or any of the other nations pursuing a similar sort of strategy? It reeks of desperation.
You know, Manuji, when you talk about Oxford, and like Panditji said, Pakistanization, many people believe that if London has become Pakistan, if you see the chatter on social media, why can't, you know, one deduce that Oxford is now Islamabad or Rawalpindi, Karachi, whatever it is. By that I mean the sphere of influence has increased of the deep state, and not for good.
Yes, Manish, especially for the Oxford Union. I don't know about the University of Oxford in its entirety, but for the Oxford Union, the past 1 year, and especially under Musa Haraj, the Pakistani president, because in November 2024, we saw another debate which the Oxford Union under Musa had organized, which was questioning, or rather the motion was that Kashmir should get its independence or should become an independent state, so on and so forth. And for that debate, they had invited Zafar Khan of Jammu Kashmir Liberation Front, a terrorist organization, and Muzammil Ayub Thakur, who has UAPA against him, who has been investigated by the Scotland Yard for links to terror organizations. So they had invited these people with terrorist backgrounds, or rather links to the terrorist networks. So imagine an Oxford Union which is endorsing such people. Muzammil Ayub Thakur has gone ahead and endorsed neutralization or neutralized terrorists as Shaheed. And the Oxford Union now wants us to debate such elements. It wanted India, and I believe Aditya Rajkol had refused to participate in that debate. Many Hindu and Indian diaspora organizations had gone and protested outside the Oxford Union venue, saying that you cannot be inviting terrorists or people linked to these terror groups, and especially JKLF, which has a history of terror activity in the UK itself. In 1984, they had kidnapped and murdered an Indian diplomat, Ravindra Mate.
It's all documented.
So this is,
why are we surprised about this? And you know, the terror links are actually, Manuji, to be honest, a prerequisite for anyone in Pakistan to be, you know, to be invited to the high table, the proverbial high table, so to say. So now that they've, you know, this was abject surrender, staying in the same hotel and not speaking to the people that you want to debate with, and then the High Commission issues a statement like this, just tells
Pranesh,
you that the joke that Pakistan has become.
They have never won a straightforward war. Let us be honest about it. Look in the history. They have only won so-called proxy wars. Another medal is going to somebody for this, this victory. So we know Pakistan, what it is all about.
Well, the Field Marshal tag is taken. I wonder, you know, what this medal would be called. You know, maybe a failed marshal, because the debate never happened, a failed marshal medal. I thank both of you. More power to both of you, because, you know, every day you correct the narrative that is so important. Thank you for joining us on Times Now.
Thank you, Pranesh ji. Thank you very much indeed. Pranam.